Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Marco's Pizza card reveal for Emerge 30 Revelations. And I cannot get over how good these pizza boxes smell when we bring them in here.
The contents are even better.
Yes, of course, I'm Casey Johnson here alongside A.W. Lurch, Chris Lowe, and Chris, I want to get right into some of the circumstances surrounding this show. We released an update last week. Of course, we all encourage you to go out and watch it. But for those of you who didn't, let's hit them with a little bit of a review of how things have gone down in the past few weeks, because the Emerge offices have been a busy, busy place.
Yes, definitely. Emerge 30 Revelations was initially scheduled for the first week in March. Unfortunately, a scheduling conflict with Parkside Elementary, fabulous hosts, but they had a prior commitment, so we had to push the show back a few weeks to March 24th.
So this has led to a number of small changes in the card. We had a card beforehand. We've had to change things up a little bit, but I think the beautiful thing about this card is that this card has given way to a lot of matchups, Lurch, that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Yeah, and one of those matchups is Lennox Norris will not be taking on Mikey McFinnigan. Is that what we're hearing, Commish? What's up with that? I mean,
not for this show. Mikey McFinnigan, of course, the winner of the Outbreak 8 tournament. He will get an Emerge Outbreak Championship match at a later date.
So who is Lennox going to have to take on? He's got the night off, right? He surely doesn't have to defend the title.
Well, as we've already announced, and we will get to that a little later on in the show, he'll be taking on ATM, in fact.
Oh, figures.
What?
You're putting them up against ATM already. I mean, are you serious, Commish? I mean, that's not fair. I mean, Lennox Norris deserves to have the night off. He doesn't deserve to be going against ATM.
Apparently, I have more faith in the original American than you do, because that man is a fighting champion.
Yeah, and apparently you're trying to get that belt off the fighting champion and making him work and claw and defend it for every last breath he has. I mean, that's not even right. I mean, come on, Commish.
You hold a title in Emerge, you defend it.
That's the bottom line. Honestly, Scotty Young should be in that match.
Here we go.
Well, we'll get to that.
Scotty Young, he's the overqualified. If you're going to pick anybody from the Outbreak 8 to be in the match, it should be Scotty Young. I mean,
in our Copies and More Facebook Live match, to start off the show, of course, we encourage you to get there 40 minutes after doors open, 20 minutes before the show actually begins proper, for what is going to be a hellacious match in Jerry Andrews versus the Mastodon, J.D. Mariani. What's the deal with this match?
This is the Mastodon's first match since Emergence Day, when he defeated the Midwest Monster, Jacob Johns. And, of course, you guys remember a last monster standing match. Quite the bout.
Yeah, and Jerry Andrews is a guy who's coming back into Emerge, and if I can say one thing about Jerry Andrews, it's that he needs this win. We were talking a little bit before the show. To my knowledge, and I like to think I know most of what's happened in Emerge, I don't believe Jerry Andrews has ever won a match in Emerge. This is something where he really, really needs to get on his horse and ride it here.
Yeah, I had Monica pull up past match results, and you're right. Jerry Andrews has been unsuccessful thus far.
Yeah, but he is going to prove himself. He is going to prove himself, and there are no cupcakes in Emerge, but he's going up against to prove himself, J.D. Mariani, and he's going to. I got faith in Jerry. I got faith in Jerry Andrews.
Good.
Well, of course, with HBO at ringside, you know that it's always going to be a little bit, let's say, lopsided in the favor of one Jerry Andrews. Of course, that's the Copies and More Facebook Live match. Will be taking place at approximately 6:40, 20 minutes before the show starts. Be there by then.
Actually, be there a little earlier so you can get your seats, get some concessions and just get settled in.
And it's another point where we are continuing to stack these Facebook Live matches. This is not your normal, quote-unquote, pre-show match. This is a very important match. Of course, J.D. Mariani, the only two-time Emerge champion ever,
Right.
still to this day. So it's definitely, we put our best stars in these matches because the fans deserve it.
That's right. And don't forget, Hollywood Bobby Olson mentioned that this is 2018 is going to be the year, his year, to prove himself in Emerge Wrestling, and he's going to take Jerry Andrews straight to the top and straight through the Mastodon.
Quite the prediction there.
Can't wait.
Well, headed into the main card, we have Scotty Young taking on Aaron Anarchy in a match where both of these guys, Chris, have something to prove.
Yes, and I'm going to cut Lurch off before we even get there. I will concede Scotty Young is angry.
Yeah.
He was a finalist in the Outbreak 8 tournament. But he's not getting an Outbreak title shot at this point. Scotty Young, in my estimation, still has a little bit to prove, as does Aaron Anarchy. Anarchy's had some great success as a member of a tag team, but I'd like to see what these guys can do.
He's yet to make that breakout singles win in Emerge, and we haven't seen him since Emerge 26 when he was one of three people, along with Johnny Justice and Pompano Joe, to get absolutely destroyed by the Bomb Shelter in our Copies and More Facebook live stream. And coming off of something like that, he has a lot to prove, and to be fair, it's going to be a tall order against Scotty Young to really prove himself, but I think Young Anarchy might actually be able to pull it off.
I mean, this is going to be the tallest order Aaron Anarchy has been up against. The overqualified, the overachiever, the winner, forever young, Scotty Young, the most deserving. I mean, he was in the finals of the Outbreak 8, by the way. Why are we overlooking that? He was in the finals, and you're putting ATM up against Linux.
You want the truth? I want to see if Scotty Young has the killer instinct. If you remember, first round match of the Outbreak 8 tournament, we had the ring malfunction. Match got pushed back about 10 minutes. What did he do when he came out? He feigned a neck injury.
Well, I mean, have you seen when a rope goes? I mean that can cause severe whiplash.
Did you see him land on his feet?
Oh, he kind of jerked his neck a little bit. Yeah, I did see that, and and it's good that he came out. I think that's what he needed to make it to the finals of the Outbreak 8, and he should have been the first alternate.
Well, he's a jerk. I didn't see anything happen with his neck, though. Speaking of, the rope breaking, we have a match here which includes somebody who is interestingly, we think, affected by that. But nevertheless, this match is made up of two people who really need to win in Emerge right now, that being Trevor Court versus the Midwest Mutt, Sean Kemp. And I want to let you expound a little bit on Trevor Court, because I know you have had your issues as of late.
I haven't had issues with Trevor Court. Trevor Court has had issues with me. I respect Trevor Court. I think he is a tremendous talent. That said, both he and the Midwest Mutt, Sean Kemp, were in the Outbreak 8 tournament. They both lost in the first round. Now, Kemp is a newcomer. He might have a little more leeway to gain his footing. The Greatest Show on Earth has had success in Emerge. He's kind of lost his shine a little bit. Again, no disrespect. I need to see who the better man is.
Trevor Court was not happy with you, Commish.
I know.
I saw him. He was talking about where he was going to put his plaque that he won at the last show. He was talking about where exactly that was going to go in his trophy room, but he was also talking about where he was going to take you and beat you against,
He promised a severe emotional event.
Exact words.
That's right. That's right.
There's no reason for that, man. I'm not a wrestler. I'm here to put on the best matches possible.
Of course, On the other side of the coin there, Sean Kemp, it's interesting to look at the way that his first match in Emerge unfolded because, as a performer, when you are set and you're ready, to make your debut, to take Emerge by storm, and then of course, you've been on the other side of that curtain as a competitor. You get in a certain mindset right before you step out of that curtain, and when you're set, and then you're pushed back 10 minutes, and then your opponent feigns a neck injury. I think we were in a situation where I'm not sure we saw the best of Sean Kemp in that particular matchup. I think he was caught off guard a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, when I see Sean Kemp, I mean, when he just exudes excitement when he comes through. I mean, if you ask me, he's ready to go at any moment. I mean, you could throw that frisbee and he would sprint right to the frisbee.
Come on, man. After the rope break and we took that 10, 12-minute intermission, we all went to the back, and you could see the anxiety in Sean Kemp's face. First off, he was already nervous.
Yeah, but what about? I mean,
about making his debut in the premier wrestling organization in the Midwest, and then to be told just like that, oh, we got to wait 10 minutes, we got to wait 15 minutes, and then he finally gets out there. And Scotty Young is feigning a neck injury. You know what? I've never been a competitor, but I can imagine that does a number on someone's mindset.
Yeah, I can imagine that a neck injury would definitely do a number on the mindset of the Kemp family right now. I can imagine that. You're right. And that
Are you
makes
trying
sense.
to drop hints for later right now?
I think we all know. I think we all know by now.
Please proceed.
Yes. Up next, we have a number one contenders match for the Outbreak Championship. But to be clear, our next event will be April 14th. Unfortunately, Mikey McFinnigan not going to be at that particular event either. So in the meantime, fighting champion Lennox Norris, of course, if he is able to get through Austin Tyler Morris, the winner of that match is going to take on the winner of this match, and it's one that's been brewing for a while, and Have Mercy, the freshest prince, Percy Davis, versus the sharpshooter, Luke Lawson.
Yeah, these two have been going at it for a long time. If you guys remember, Luke Lawson stole Percy Davis's chain. To be honest, we haven't seen them in a few months, both men. Emerge cameras caught up with Have Mercy, basically hunting down Luke Lawson, and he was going to give him a beat down. And I can't have that in the backstage area.
Especially with some of the issues we've had in the last year.
Exactly. So I decided it would be best to give them a few months off to hopefully cool down and let these two men settle their differences in the ring.
And can I just say that if Percy,
doesn't matter if you can, you will.
If Percy, if you all didn't leave in the limo that early, if you all would have waited, this never would have happened. The chain would have been protected. The sharpshooter, Luke Lawson, wouldn't have stolen the chain, and we would have gone out on the town. And this is what happens. So just want to point that out.
It's almost kind of cute how bad he wants to be Percy's friend.
Yeah.
Well,
Poor Lurch.
What isn't cute is going to be the carnage, I think, that these two are going to put on each other. Keep in mind, these guys were doing the same drills at the same trainer's place at the same time in the same ring. They know everything about each other, but even when you know everything about another person, when you take that extra step and when you make it personal like Luke Lawson has, you will see things out of somebody that you've never seen before. I think that's going to happen with Percy Davis. I think we are going to see a little bit of a side of Percy Davis that we've never seen before, and it doesn't matter whether you love him or hate him as an Emerge fan, that's got to be an exciting prospect.
We shall see. We shall see. March 24th right there at Parkside. We will find out.
So the Tag Team Championship being defended next as Cole Radrick and Warfare Jeremy Hadley take on newcomers to Emerge, the Awesome Odyssey, Jack Andrews and Chris Copeland. And this is going to be one of my most anticipated matches of the night. I've seen some film on the Awesome Odyssey. I've never had a chance to catch them in person, but if you know much about tag team wrestling in Indiana, then you have definitely heard of these guys. They are high-flying, fun-loving Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, and what a great foil for our tag team champions. It's just, you're right, Casey. It's just going to be a fantastic match.
Of course, it's worth noting that Hadley and Cole Radrick especially requested the Awesome Odyssey to be their first defense of the tag team championships. They think they're worthy contenders, and when we had Chris Caliber win the championship, the Emerge championship, we gave him the leeway to have some influence on who his first title defense was going to be against. It ended up being Chris Silvio, which some people believe is the greatest match in Emerge history. So, if they had suggested some chumps, more or less, I don't want to use that term, then maybe we would not have gone with that suggestion. But Commissioner, I know you vetted these guys, and of course everybody pretty much knows who they are, and this is going to be a fantastic match.
Without question.
Yeah, Awesome Odyssey. Yeah, there is going to be an interesting matchup, but I've heard kind of some rumblings in the back that Nikki Mariani has her eyes set on getting that tag team championship gold.
Say what?
What?
That's right. I've heard that Nikki Mariani, Queen of Mean, she's got her eye on the tag team scene right now, and she's interested in getting those belts back.
How's she going to pull this off?
Where did you hear this?
It doesn't matter, Casey. I hear a lot of things from a lot of people, and you must understand that it is all true, and take it for what it is.
It's all true.
But seriously, she has really got her eyes around the tag team belts, and she wants them back. She's lacking right now.
You have me intrigued.
Well, before we head on to our last three matches, by far, in my opinion, the three biggest matches of the night, of course, we want to thank Marco's Pizza for sponsoring our live stream here. Let's take a second to hear from them.
If you're in the mood for some great authentic Italian food at a fantastic price, try Marco's. Subs, wings, salads, and the best pizza around. 2 locations in Columbus at 2019 25th Street and 3532 West 2 Mile House Road. Along with daily hot deals, receive a free order of cheesy bread for signing up for Marco's E-Club. You can learn more at marcos.com. Marco's, the official pizza of Emerge.
It's Ricky Ruckus approved.
Of course, we always want to thank Marco's Pizza for their sponsorship. They have been a tremendous help to us. And remember, go to Marco's Pizza, go to 46, go to 25th Street, mention Emerge Wrestling when we get there. We know, we've heard some of you have been doing that. Thank you for that. Definitely keep it up.
Please.
And let's keep this wonderful partnership going. Up next, we have the Outbreak Championship match between the original American Lennox Norris and ATM.
Yeah, as mentioned at the top of the show, Mikey McFinnigan was scheduled to face Norris, but due to the change in the schedule, he's unable to appear at this match. So we had to make different arrangements, and ATM, Austin Tyler Morris, is getting this title shot.
I mean, I don't know what. It's obvious. This is an agenda against Lennox Norris. This is an attack against Lennox Norris's gold belt, his Outbreak Championship. And it's an attack against Scotty Young. Scotty Young should be in the match. He finished second in the Outbreak 8. He should be second in line. He deserves it. He should be there, ready. And he shouldn't be focused on taking selfies, even though he probably does.
All right, we done?
All right. First off, I understand the complaint with Scotty Young. You're right. He did come in second. But I have to look at the overall body of work. And when you consider ATM's pedigree, former tag team champion, 2017 Emerge, most improved wrestler of the year, he deserves a shot. Not to say Scotty Young doesn't. By no means does Scotty Young not deserve a shot. But in my estimation, and I'm the commissioner, ATM deserves the shot first.
And if I may take an opportunity to be almost a little, I don't want to be biased, but I do want to say here, Scotty Young maybe needs to quit whining a little bit if he wants to be a main event player in Emerge.
Well, I'll tell you what, who's really getting the short end of the stick is Lennox Norris. Lennox Norris shouldn't even have to be working this show. Lennox Norris should be out on publicity tours,
Why?
promoting the Outbreak Championship around the country, promoting Emerge Wrestling for us. He is an excellent spokesperson for the company, and he should continue this title reign regardless of the commission's agenda to get it on somebody like ATM.
There's no agenda, and the best way to promote something, especially a championship, is to defend it.
Lennox Norris will defend. We do know that.
Well, before we get to our last couple matches here, I want to very quickly mention another one of our sponsors, another one of our fantastic partners in Groby's RTO Home Furnishings.
Love them.
And, they have been incredibly gracious to us. And I know that, let's face it, when you start talking about your sponsorships and whatnot, there's a tendency to zone out and say, why should I as a fan care about this? I'll tell you why. Because through the wonderful support that we've gotten from Groby's, we are now in a position to bring you 2 free matches this month, and henceforth, Groby's will be sponsoring our free match of the month. You're always going to get one of those. Now, first things first, actually, I believe tomorrow we are going to be playing the most historic match in Emerge history.
That's the plan.
Downtown Throwdown. Ricky Ruckus, Donnie Idol, and the Tiger, Rocky Jr. versus the Hellfire Club. The match that had the entire Midwest talking, and darn near half the Midwest showed up at the event. You can see this amazing crowd of 1,000 people all stand up, chant his name, and Chris, I know I've been with the company now for over 2 years, and I know you've been commissioner for just over a year. That has to be your proudest moment as a commissioner.
Without question. That you're right.
It's my proudest moment as a member of Emerge.
To look out over that sea of humanity and to feel the love that Rocky Jr. got that day, I can't see it being topped.
Yeah, not at all. But not long after that at all, we're going to have another match that is going to play a little bit closer to the show, and it's one that's very near and dear to a situation that we are about to elaborate on a heck of a lot further. We're going to have Kyle Maverick versus Donnie Idol Emerge 24 payoff for the Outbreak Championship, and we want to, Lurch, you talk about an agenda. I'll tell you what the agenda is with this match. We want to remind you so that by no means you forget what happened to Donnie. Because I think as we're getting into this next match here at this next show, I think we're finally going to get some answers. I really, in my gut, I feel like we're going to get some answers. And so we want to take a second to look back at the past before we move into the future, Chris.
Right, and you're right. I think we're going to get answers with this next match, which is, of course, Ricky Ruckus against Too Cool, TJ Kemp, with the main attraction, Donnie Idol, as special referee.
Yeah, and what a ride this one has been. I think it's the most interesting situation that's ever happened in Emerge, period. And we have 3 people that I have a great deal of respect for in the middle. I know that's the same way with you, and at the very least, to a certain extent, with you. Lurch, you have known Ricky longer than any of us. What is running through his head right now?
Well, obviously, the biggest thing on his mind right now is T.J. Kemp. And T.J. Kemp has been a man on a mission in this situation. It's clear to Ricky that T.J. Kemp is the person behind the attack against Donnie Idol, and he's finally going to get his hands on him in the Emerge ring while Donnie is there to call the shots, in the ring.
And I've never had a chance to ask you this, Lurch, point blank, but do you think it was TJ?
Absolutely. It seems all fingers point to TJ. You know, at first I did think it was Kyle Maverick. You know, you mentioned the match with Kyle Maverick. They did have that situation, you know, and obviously that was ruled out, but all signs point to TJ Kemp here. I mean, absolutely. I think it's
Yeah, and we're in a situation here for one of the first times in Emerge, Chris, where it almost seems like the match is an afterthought, but there is going to be some crazy action that takes place in the ring, and Donnie Idol's caught in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
He's friends with both guys.
Right. And Lurch touched on it briefly. If TJ Kemp is the man responsible for all this, I think Ricky Ruckus is going to drag it out of him one way or another. I think that's why Ruckus wanted Donnie Idol to be the referee for this match. He wants to make TJ Kemp fess up to what he did, if he did it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure. There is a distinct possibility, I think, that TJ Kemp did this. And I think there's also a distinct possibility that he did not. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now, and maybe I'm losing my partisanship or whatever here. I don't even know how to put it into words at this point. But frankly, you know, Donnie's my friend. Donnie's one of my greatest friends on this earth, and I have a great deal of respect for Ricky. I have a great deal of respect for TJ. Whether or not TJ did it, and whether you're TJ or whether you're somebody else, whoever you are out there that did this, be a man and show yourself. You know, because honestly, it's been over a half a year now, and I have watched Donnie. I've been at his bedside. I've helped him out with his physical therapy when he needed it. And whoever it is, it's time to man up and show yourself. Because guess what? All of the major players in this situation are going to be there, and all the fingers are pointed at TJ Kemp. If it's not you, if it's not TJ, then whoever it is, I know that has to be eating you alive.
You know what? And I haven't thought of that. You're absolutely right. All players are there. Something's going to get resolved that night. You're right.
Something's
I feel
getting resolved that night. And I know that's eating you alive if it's not TJ. So whoever it is, show yourself, claim whatever glory you think you have, and I promise I'll be ringside doing the worst, putting the worst words to it that I possibly can. Because as far as I'm concerned, whoever did this is a coward. And they have no place in Emerge.
Don't say anything you're going to regret. You know what you saw what they did to Donnie. Whoever did it, I don't think would have any.
I don't care, man. If I go to the hospital, I said what I wanted to say.
No, we're not having that. You need to be objective. Let's move forward.
no comment.
Hey, Joe, where are you going? Hey, Joe, where are you doing? You didn't win anything. What are you doing? Where are you going? You need to give that back.
I won this fair and square. You should be thanking me.
Thank you. What are you talking about? You lost your mind. Hey, that's not.
Yeah. In your main event, Jordan Cage is going to get a shot at Chris Caliber for the championship.
Right. Chris Caliber is your Emerge champion, despite what Picture Perfect did. He, quite frankly, absconded with the title after basically baiting the workhorse and drilling him with a chain.
Yeah, and we have a little bit of footage backstage of Jordan Cage booking it with the championship. Let's go ahead and show you that now. Well, there you have it. There's your situation, guys. Before we move on, I do want to apologize to both of you and the fans for losing my cool there for a minute. I mean, I know we're all as personally involved in this situation as anything. It's just hard, when your friend of 10 years has gotten in this situation. But I'm going to be impartial.
You're a human, dude.
And let's just move on because this promises to be a fantastic match as well.
Without a doubt.
My question, as we sort of try to get back into it here, is what is the update as far as Jordan Cage having that championship? Because I know you've been calling him, Monica's been calling him, everybody's been calling him.
I've been within an hour after Emerge 29 ended, I was on the phone, straight to voicemail. I would text Jordan Cage. No response. Weeks and weeks have gone by, and I finally got a text back from Jordan Cage with just a phone number. So I call it. It is a Lexington-based attorney who informed me that Jordan Cage will get back with me at his convenience. I didn't take to that well, so I let him know that Jordan is contractually obligated to appear at Emerge 30 Revelations. If he does not, 1, he'll be fired. 2, law enforcement will be involved, and we will get that championship belt back one way or another.
That's a little passionate there. Maybe you need to be impartial. Huh?
Yeah, you shouldn't fire Jordan Cage.
It's a joke. It's a because of the thing.
You're very clever.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, what were you?
I'm just saying, you shouldn't fire Jordan Cage for that. That belt looks so good around Jordan. I mean, he's going to win that belt.
You shouldn't fire him for that breach of contract, Chris.
Right.
You just shouldn't fire Jordan Cage, period. He's the money. He's the man here at Emerge Wrestling. He's your next Emerge champion, whether he has it right now or not.
He'll be the man when he wins the title.
Amen. Well, either
Yes, he
way,
will.
let's get a little bit to the in-ring action because both of them are going to be there as far as we know, right? And this is going to be, when you take away everything here, this is a dream match for Emerge fans. This has the potential to steal the show for months and months and months. But when you add that personal aspect, when Jordan Cage said, "Just like your wife, this belt is going home with another man."
Oh, jeez.
And we saw the emotional response from Chris Caliber when that happened. And that adds another layer to this match where it's hard to keep your game plan and keep your head when you're so personally involved.
And speaking of game plan, I mean, Picture Perfect's Jordan Cage's game plan was picture perfect.
Yep.
He hid underneath the ring. He waited till Congo Kong, his feet hit the ground, and he held on to his legs until, he's counted out. Kept the gold belt here in town, then took it home with him. Brilliant. And you have to respect that.
I don't think respect is the word I'd use, but
Yeah.
to each his own.
Well, either way, it's going to be an interesting match in ring, too, because, Caliber has a lot of power behind him, but he's deceptively quick as well. Meanwhile, with Picture Perfect Jordan Cage, the name of the game is athleticism, textbook wrestling, and picture perfect form.
In this match, though, I'm not into making predictions. Whoever's got the best mindset is going to win this match. And quite frankly, if Chris Caliber was ripe for the picking, this is the match. My opinion.
Well, that being said, if Jordan Cage has ever had a bigger target on his back, I don't think I've seen it. So that is going to be your card for Emerge 30 Revelations. Let's run through it one more time. Copies and more Facebook Live match. Jerry Andrews versus the Mastodon J.D. Mariani. And, J.D. Mariani's crowning return to the Emerge Arena. But can he get past Jerry Andrews? Or more so, can Jerry Andrews topple the beast? Scotty Young versus Aaron Anarchy. Two guys who need to regain their footing and emerge a little bit. Aaron Anarchy has been on the losing side of his last few matches, and Scotty Young is coming off of the biggest loss of his career. Can he get himself back into the title picture sooner rather than later? Greatest Show on Earth, Trevor Court. Midwest Mutt, Sean Kemp. Another situation. Both of these guys need this win. Trevor Court, I think, especially is in a situation where something needs to turn around for him. Sean Kemp still trying to make his name here and emerge. Both men hungry. Have Mercy the Freshest Prince, Percy Davis versus the sharpshooter Luke Lawson. The culmination of a feud now that has lasted 5 months. and one of these guys is going to end up being the number one contender for the Outbreak Championship. Tag Team Championship. The game is respect. Cole Radrick and Warfare Jeremy Hadley respect the Awesome Odyssey, but they're going to fight tooth and nail, and one of them is going to walk out with the belts. The Outbreak Championship. Lennox Norris is going to face ATM. Of course, Mikey McFinnigan unable to attend this particular event. ATM, in the minds of many, a more than worthy suitor to take his place. Ricky Ruckus versus Too Cool TJ Kemp with Donnie Idol as the special guest referee. If there's one match that is guaranteed fireworks, you know it's going to be that one. And as we just spoke about in our main event, the Emerge Championship, Chris Caliber versus Picture Perfect Jordan Cage in a match that is already one of the most personal in Emerge history. Chris, say a few words because I'm out of breath.
If you haven't been to an Emerge show in a long time, if you've been to every Emerge show, you don't want to miss this one. So many great matches on the card, and something tells me that the Too Cool TJ Kemp Ricky Ruckus match may very well steal the show.
Lurch, any parting thoughts?
Picture Perfect Jordan Cage will walk away from Parkside Elementary on March 24th with that Emerge Championship. Mark my words.
Yeah, but is he going to win it? Well, either way, that brings us to the end of our Marco's Pizza card reveal. Of course, again, thank you to Marco's for their fantastic partnership with Emerge. And we will see you in just a few short weeks for Emerge 30 Revelations. Remember, tomorrow, Groby's free match is going to feature the most historic match in Emerge history in the six-man tag that took place downtown, featuring one Rocky Jr. Stay tuned for that. We've got a number of interviews coming up with your favorite Emerge stars. We are just getting started on the road to Revelation. My name is Casey Johnson alongside Chris Lowe and A.W. Lurch. We'll see you guys next time.